Hi everyone, I wanted to show you some of the things I have to make the steampunk ornaments. I'm talking directly into the camera, so I hope you can hear me. If not, I will do a voiceover. But these things that I was calling grommets are actually eyelets. These are kind of big. These are the size I use right here. These are the silvery ones, and these are the more of a bronze tone. And I also have, let's see, different clock faces. This comes in a company called Recollections, and you can get these at craft shows or online. These actually, the eyelets are in the sewing department, and this company is Sewology, and this company is Loops and Threads. I really like the size of these. They're 5 and 32 inches. And these big ones are 5/16, and that's a little too big. And then they have these little tiny ones that come in all different colors if you're going to make really small things like maybe little teddy bears or something. And then I have a collection of keys, which you also can purchase in packages like this. And the clock pieces, the arms of the clock. That's what they're called, right? The arms. And then I have, and these also you can get online or at the craft store. These are all different gears. And then what I have is, and I purchased these, I believe, on eBay. And if you look for old watch parts, I think you will find these. And you'll get a package of like hundreds of them in there, and you kind of have to pick through and pick out what you want. Well, this little cross came in a package here. But I separated them into, these are just bits and pieces. And these are like the little gears, the little tiny gears in the watch. And you have to be careful with these because some of them have pointy ends, and you can really, they're like little needles. But you can get those, and they're not too expensive. So, and I put them in these little containers. And so, what we will be making, this is one I made for my ebook a while back. And we're going to be using different parts, and he's going to be a little different looking. And he is antiqued, but he will be different looking because none of your steampunk items will look alike because you're going to be using different gears and things. But we will try to make him look as much as possible like this one. And like I can already see I have some of the things here. Like this, I'll be using that. And let me see if I have a little gear that goes in the middle. If not, I'll have to keep looking. But that's what we will be making. So let's get started. Now these are some of the things that we're going to be using to make our cat, which is the cat I showed you previously is one I made a few years ago. But we're going to try to duplicate it. But really, when you make steampunk, every one looks different because you're going to be putting different embellishments on. So each one will be unique. And here I am showing you how I made the whiskers. And I think, I can't remember what gauge this wire is, but I think I would go with a little thinner wire than this. This is kind of a heavy wire. I think it was a little too heavy for this project. So I've already cut all my little whiskers. There'll be 2 on each side. Now to make this color, I mixed together red and brown to give it that leathery kind of look. You don't have to do that. That's for the boots. We're going to do the body exactly like the cat bodies in the 4-cat video. The body's exactly the same, done the same way. And so we're just going to roll around a triangle and kind of to the left, give him a little bit of a rear end. These are going to be the legs. Just roll out those long logs. And then we're going to take that reddish brown and we're going to roll out 2 logs, and you're just going to attach them at the end of those black legs. Just squeeze them on and then roll them. And they'll bind together. And we'll be cutting them down to size. So you want mostly boots showing here. Now you can see I laid out some embellishments, some steampunk embellishments, but I won't be using all of those. I just have them there so I can pick and choose. All right, so now we're going to attach the legs. Fold up the bottom for the paws. So now you see he's wearing boots. And then I took gold clay and I did the crisscross on the boots. And you can actually decorate the boots any way you want. It doesn't have to be this crisscross effect. There's different ways to do it. Oh, if you hear banging again, it's the 3-year-old. He's just banging around out there in the living room. My bedroom that I'm working in is right behind the living room. There you have the boots. And if you watch the video with the 4 cats, you'll see that we're building this one exactly the same way we did the 4 cats in the other videos. And we're going to give him a red bow. Of course, you can do whatever color bow you want. And always add the head before you do the rest of the bow. And I want to remind you that when the camera goes a little bit out of focus, that happens when the big trucks go by on the road and they make the house shake, and my tripod starts to shake a little bit. And before it settles down, it makes the camera go a little blurry. I just really don't know what to do about it. I can't stop the trucks from going by the road. It must be a truck going by. Now he's going to have a gold hat. It is a top hat. Some of our future steampunk ornaments they'll be wearing, I think they call it a derby hat. It's the rounded hat. And I think our little penguin is going to be wearing that. We'll be doing him soon. Now pinch it to flatten it. There you go. I'm just going to blend in the seams. Do a little hat band. You don't have to do that either if you don't want to. There's so many different ways you can do him. I think with steampunk, it's the gears and the embellishments and how you put those on. It can just make everything look so different. Now his ears are coming through holes in his hat. Well, we'll assume the holes are there. Can you just imagine trying to get your cat to wear a hat? Oh my gosh. Wouldn't work for me. I couldn't even get a bow on him. My cats never wore collars. Oh my gosh, they would just go crazy, flip around on the floor and try to kick them off. It just didn't work. Now the cheeks. And now I took some of the reddish brown. That's going to be for his goggles. And we're going to use the eyelets, which I used to call grommets. Wait, I think I'm going to do his nose first. Now, his nose is, on the old wristwatches, I can't think of what it's called, but the little thing you turn to wind the watch, that's what this piece is. I should have researched that so I could tell you exactly what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. And we're putting in the eyelet, which I may slip now and then and call it a grommet, which it's not. Reminds me of that cartoon with the, I don't know, is it the dog named Gromit? And he always saved the day. Wallace and Gromit. I think that's what it was called. Very fun cartoon. So I have the eyelets in. It's kind of a fitting name for it because it's goggles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little bit of green clay, and that'll be like he'll have green eyes looking out. See, I'm taking a little bit of green clay. Now, the little tiny gear right next to him that I'm going to be putting on top of the green, you can buy those in the little packages at the craft store or online. And those are not from the watch parts. Those you can actually buy. And the two little pieces that are on the up on top, if you see them above the clock hand up there on the white sheet of paper, those are actually from the inside of a watch. And the piece I'm picking up now, that's also from the inside of a watch. And they have ends that are like little needles, and you have to be very careful when you pick them up because you can really stab yourself. And they hurt. I forget and I try to press them on, and I'm like, ugh. So now we have his eyes done. I'm going to do the holly leaf and berry. I didn't like the way I did the leaves on this. My hand just didn't work right when I was doing that. I don't know. Just one of those days. I should have left it just like that, but no. I had to do this, and I don't like the way it came out. And it was on that last bit where I kind of slipped. I could have fixed it, but I didn't. Now, on the steampunk ornaments, I like to use the gears as the hooks that you hang them from. I think when you put in the paperclip hooks into the steampunk ornaments, it kind of takes away from the look of it. So I always do one of these gears at the top, and you can use that as the hook. And remember to close the gap when you put it in. You don't want it pulling out. And I'm putting in some of the clock hands. And I know I called them arms earlier, but when you look at them, they kind of look more like arms than hands. And again, that's something you don't have to put in if you don't want to. And you can adjust the whiskers after the piece is baked. We have a nice cool day here today after all the rain and humidity and tornado warnings, but it's cool outside. I can't get my hands and feet to warm up today. And when you have arthritis and your hands get cold, ooh, it's not fun. It hurts. So if I wake up in the morning and my hands are hurting, I usually put them under hot running water, get that circulation going. And I do these finger exercises. I broke my wrist while I was gardening a few years ago, and they showed me finger exercises I had to do and other exercises when the cast came off. So I try to do those. And there we have all the whiskers on. I couldn't find a lighter colored gear like I have on the other cat, but I think this is fine. And that's a little jingle bell. You can buy those in the packages in all different sizes. And this is, if you see the little, I guess supposed to be like gems or jewelry. I don't know. Beads. I don't think it's a bead, but it has a backing that has like an X on it, and I just took the backing off. And I used the little backing to put on his boots. And if you look around your house, you can use tacks. If you find all kinds of funky buttons, my aunt gave me a bag of buttons that are incredible. And I'll be using those in my steampunk ornaments. But if you look around, you'll find lots of stuff you can use for steampunk. And another holly leaves and berry. I'm just going to put another little gear up on there, and that one is also from the inside of an old wristwatch. And he is done. Look at him. Well, he needs to be baked. And after he's baked, I don't really paint anything on him. The one I showed earlier that I did a few years ago, that one is actually antiqued. And this one I'm just going to leave plain. I'm not going to antique this one. And that's it.